Okay, I'd like to bring the Upper Moreland Township a special meeting for April 8th, 2024 to order. This board met in executive session prior to this meeting tonight. First, we'll have a moment of silent meditation. If you would, please stand for pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, next, roll call. Pat, would you call roll?
I will, thank you, Commissioner. Ward 1? Present. Ward 2?
Present.
Ward 3? Present. Ward 4?
Present.
Ward 5?
Present.
Ward 6?
Present.
Ward 7?
Here.
Mr. Commissioner, all the Board of Commissioners are present this evening, as is the Township Solicitor.
Thank you.
Mr. President, I interject here for a minute?
Sure. You should.
We have a birthday.
We're going to do that? Okay, we'll do that right now.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, tonight is Ben's birthday, so round of happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear man. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. Couldn't think of a better way to spend it.
You're enjoying your dinner, right? Okay, next, I'll take a motion to approve Resolution 2024-08.
I make that motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. This is to designate Pat Stasio as the interim township manager for Upper Moreland Township for the board secretary of the Commissioner Board. Any questions from the board? Any questions from the public? With that, I'll call a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against? Abstain? Motion passes. Next, a motion for the approval of Resolution 2024-09.
I make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. This is to designate Pat Stasio as the signator and depositor of the Upper Moreland Township designated banks. Any discussion from the board? Any discussion from the public? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Abstain? Motion passes. Next, we have a motion to approve designated Pat Stasio as the Open Records Officer for Upper Moreland Township.
So moved.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any board discussion? Public discussion? No? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Abstain? Motion passes. Special meeting is adjourned. In a few minutes, we will start the CDC meeting.
Thank you, Pat Stasio.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Charles.
What else do I have?
I'm going to run to the library real quick. I can get like a pamphlet. I was just
No problem. Yeah, it's fine. We have some time. Jim Hirsch. Enforcement.
Yep, all good.
Somebody sent me a text over the weekend.
You got your name tag, Nick?
Or I need to. All right, cool.
Yeah, he called me. He just text me. Yeah, he sent me.
I appreciate that from you, you know,
Yes.
especially the calling time.
Place with you?
Yeah,
Did you? I got that one.
so hard, dude. I was it. Yeah, we. Who's this? You were taking a penalty. I'm never. It's like it's like the equivalent of playing a course where every bit of everything is surrounded by water because it might
Yeah.
as well be.
Yeah. Just stick any in any cactuses?
There were a lot. We so we were like looking for balls all the time. We rented clubs and we had like 2 sleeves each. And after like the second hole, we were like, but the good thing was if you went in the
You can find them everywhere.
freaking and yeah, the good thing was that if it's something that stays around,
Yeah.
that's probably why there's so many balls in there. Just whack them in and
Yeah, who's going in? Yeah, there's Paul. Ready to go? Okay. Thought they were yours. Okay, next, we'd like to bring the Upper Moreland Township Community Development Committee for April 8th, 2024, to order. We already did moment of silent meditation, Pledge of Allegiance, and the call to order announcements. Is there any announcements for tonight?
No announcements.
Okay. Roll call. We have Alex Bomber from Kilkenny here. We have Jim Hirsch from Gilmore here. We have Paul Pertel from Code Enforcement here. We have commissioners. We have Dave Alcier from Public Works, and Pat Stasio as the interim manager. From commissioners, we have Commissioner Skull, myself, and Demond. Did I get everybody? Mr. Mullen? I like the first name. Everybody's here? Good. Next, approval of minutes. Anybody want to make a motion?
Motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion, changes? Any public comments? Okay, all in favor, say aye. Or no, we're just gonna move them into the minute. Do we have to vote on that? No, just move those in. Let me see here. From there. Oop. Computers. Okay, first item, new business, request by Alan Boyle, resident of 507 Exton Road, to connect to Township Stormwater Inlet. Mr. Boyle, you are here? Okay, would you come up to the podium there? Okay. Bye.
Yeah, the house next to me is 507, and that's where the drain is, where we want to run.
Yeah, that's where we're connected.
Yeah.
In front of 507.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, real brief description, what your problem is.
I've got a nasty water problem, and with all the rain that we've had in the last 6 months, I get my patio flooded on a regular basis. Dave, Pat, and Paul have seen the videos. When we get the 4 inches of water that we've been getting with these storms that roll through, I'm getting that 4 inches into my patio, and it runs into my laundry room and onto the family room next to it. It's been an existing problem. I've tried many different solutions to try and correct it, and nothing seems to be working. So I had 3 contractors come over, and to a man, they each said that a lot of the water looks like it's coming down off the grade from the park, and it's just looking for somewhere to go. And I've got one contractor that's going to put a French drain in the patio, run it out along the driveway to the street, and I'm just looking to get permission to allow that contractor to go under the sidewalk, onto the grassy area between the curb and the sidewalk, down to the drain in front of 507.
Okay, and I am to understand whether it's Paul or Dave, I think Dave, that your solution or the solution to this is acceptable to what you think should be done?
Yeah, when I first met Alan out as residents, the first plan was do what he said, French drain, but stop it at the curb in the grassy area with a pop-up drain, and then the water is just going to go into the street, and during winter it's going to freeze. So he was going that far to begin with. He only was 30 feet to the inlet, so I figured it's probably best to dig in the grassy area between the curb and the sidewalk and take it to the inlet and have them tie in.
Okay,
He would be only removing one piece of concrete sidewalk block. It should all be hand dug,
Yeah.
I would think.
Yeah, and from what the contractor told me, he's going to try and go under, not even take out that section. He's going to try and go underneath it.
Well, then, if
May
it
not even-
drops, then you're gonna have to fix it, but it's one block.
that'll be something that you would work out with the,
Yeah, he would.
and this is at your cost
Yes.
for this? If this takes care of a problem and you're okay with this, Dave, since you're responsible for this, if you're okay with this whole plan and it'll
Yes.
help, that's all I really need to know. It's not costing us anything. It's solving a problem, and the township's okay, our professional staff here. Paul, you okay with this?
Sure, yeah. If the board moves it for action, then the township solicitor would just need to prepare a right-of-way agreement to put the pipe in our right-of-way and then into our storm sewer system.
Okay?
Yeah. Yeah, we did that for a project, I think it was last year, right? That commercial
On,
property that was doing.
Computer in Maryland.
We do the same thing.
Any questions from up here?
I'm in favor of it.
I'm good. Okay, with that, any questions from the public? No. What will happen here is then this will go to a full board vote on a resolution. The next meeting, do you know the date? Anybody? So it is
May 6th.
May 6th. Okay, May 6th, the full board would vote on it then,
Okay.
okay?
So I
But
can-
it assumes, yeah,
So I can tell the contractor that we can target mid-May to start the project?
yes.
Okay, great. Well, thank you.
It sounds like there's no problems here, so, yeah, I would say, yeah.
No.
You're at your own risk saying that, but May 6th, you'll have the definite.
And thank Pat and his crew for coming out and putting that berm in. That did, it does look like that is moving some of that water away from my property, and thanks for that. I do appreciate it. Dave, thanks for your help. Sure.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you. There's a reason I don't like these. Okay, next is the rental inspection program. Paul has given us scenarios and over the last year, different ways to do things. In this one, Paul, you want to just lay out real quickly?
Sure. We've been working on the CDC's asked me to look into this a few months ago. At the March CDC meeting, they asked me to come back with some information for this evening as far as frequency of inspections, possible number of inspections, and a fee schedule. So checking with surrounding municipalities to come up, it seems most municipalities are doing it every 3 years. So each rental unit will get inspected once every 3 years, and the fees range in anywhere from $60 per unit to $100 per unit. I did speak to each municipality personally. They said it is a lot of work. You do need a full-time person pretty much dedicated to that and/or property maintenance. So, like I said, with the 2425 Maryland Road and 2300 Computer, that's going to give us approximately 4,100 rental units in the township, and that does not include the hotels and two-family dwellings, like a duplex or a triplex. So that's based on the information we currently have. So kind of figured 6 inspections a day for an inspector, and that would be pretty much for the work year.
Okay. So in that report, just so everybody is aware, where if we do this, this would be probably one more employee close to Paul's standard, because they would need the credentials to do this. They need the certifications and everything else. So this isn't just hiring a regular person and bringing them up to speed or whatever. They would have to have credentials to do this right off the bat. Now, the part-timer, that would be, let's say, scheduling and stuff, not necessarily doing inspections. That could be somebody that's an office person. With this, I looked into it with Horsham and a couple other places with people that owned some of these apartments, that they do it at their thing. It's only a cost to about $200 more per apartment, that they usually raise theirs per year, because they have to pay their property manager to orchestrate, connect with whoever's in the apartment, because you're not allowed to go directly to somebody living in the apartment. You must go to the owner. Then you must go to, if the owner has somebody, then they would go to the rental agent or whatever to schedule and that stuff. Found out a little more. I didn't realize that's all involved, but legally that's what is involved. So it might raise rents. It's like they said, they pretty much went up about $200 per year, not per payment. So I did find that out from a couple people that do rent, because at those, they were saying it was $100 fee that they were paying for their apartment. So then they said we just had a fee to handle.
4,100 apartments, and $100, is that 41,000? Or is that 410,000?
410, you go 100.
Okay, well.
So, but I just,
Well,
that's where we are now.
That would be the salary of the people, wouldn't it?
it might even be more.
Right.
Yeah. And if we want to pursue this any farther, then this all, first of all, none of this can start until we go through a budget session, because all of this this would all be included in a budget session and everything else. And then it would go to administration next to look at it for that way, as far as what our true costs are and that stuff to actually go to the budget process.
And I did wade through a few of those, other townships' plans, and some of them are much more expansive. They include private homes and all sorts of additional things. So, starting with the apartments, anyway, we'd have to tailor our ordinance for us.
What do you feel?
I think we should still have some more discussions on how we want to target the overall program. But I think we should just limit it to apartments, not private dwellings.
No, we definitely go to just apartments for now. And there is another program that we could use that say when they sell the property, but that's a whole nother issue. So do we want to move this to the administration and let them look into it from here, cost-wise and real analysis and all that stuff before it would, because if we're looking at budgeting, we're looking at September. So we would have to have everything completely done for September. Because that's when they would start to put the budget together.
Or should we have it go up the ordinance first?
And, no, I think we got to know everything else before we go to that. You don't want to put an ordinance in if we don't.
No, but I'm saying we have to make a decision about what kind of plan, what would be in the plan. We have 4 examples, and they're all different. What do we want in our plan?
Okay, do we want to bring it just back here and for us to do that, or do we want finance administration to do that? It doesn't really matter, we're usually here.
It's been conjunction, right? Conjunction, because your plan is going to dictate what your costs are going to be.
Right, I think we have to
But they
bite the
put it,
bullet.
yeah, they put it to them too, so that's what I mean, it doesn't matter which one of them.
Right.
You want to keep it here and then,
Yes.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's fine.
okay. We'll come back, we'll have to give you direction, Paul, you're,
Okay.
you gave us everything we needed to this point. Now, we'll have to think over the next month.
Commissioner, could I just interrupt you
Right
for a
now,
minute?
in a second.
In the sense that
In a
we
second.
can't hear you.
Oh.
We can't hear what you're talking about.
They're all on.
So if you would be so kind to make that possible for us here? Thank
Okay.
you.
Do we want to come back to what are we going to inspect? Are we going to do smoke detectors? Are we going to do locks, windows that locks, screens? Make sure there is no leaky faucets. So these are just some of the things that other townships look for when they go into an apartment. So over the next month, if we want to look at a couple other ones and come up with what are we going to actually ask?
Okay.
Okay? Any other commissioners on this? Okay, now anybody from the public that wants, just so what we're looking at, we're going to come back next month with what we are going to inspect, because every township does it differently.
That was my question, and I heard you say something about private homes. I don't know what that actually was referring to. I heard Commissioner Mullen use those 2 words. You are talking about apartments being able to be inspected that are part of what used to be maybe a single-family dwelling, but they were turned into multiple
No, only what we
apartments.
have on the books. We cannot go to somebody that just on an assumption of anything else. That is for codes and codes only. We will get a list of what we charge for right now, if it's an apartment or if it's not, what we have on the books. This is not sending somebody out to say, oh, is there an apartment there?
No, I didn't mean that. I did mean that the ones that are there, that are clearly multiple family dwellings,
Like a duplex.
They'll be in our business,
or things that go up the back, Commissioner, of somebody else's place. So there's an entrance up the back, and there's an entrance on the front, and there's an entrance on the side.
we're looking at what we collect tax on.
Okay. What you
That's
collect
probably an
tax on,
easier way
that's
to
what
look
comes
at
down
it.
to.
If they have a rental, if it's a duplex and they live on one side and they have a rental apartment on the other side, they would have to get an annual license.
They pay a business tax for an apartment use. That's who we are
Okay.
looking at.
Okay. Can you, when you're looking at multiple apartments, have you seen other municipalities that have done a percentage of the apartment so that you're not looking at the entire Jamestown in 1 year? That would take your entire life, by the way, just thinking about it. Or the entire, in Ward 6, the Westbury, that'll take forever.
What we will probably look at is all of them will get done over a 3-month time for it. So we might inspect one now in that complex, and then it won't get re-inspected for 3 years.
Yeah, here, it's here.
So it'll be a rotating
Okay,
thing.
so, okay,
So yes, not every single one every year,
okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
okay?
5 people to do that.
So some townships do, yeah.
We might bill it out. We might job it out and have somebody come and actually
Yeah,
do
but
inspections.
as you look at the ordinances, majority of municipalities do it once every 3 years.
Yeah.
So
Okay, that's something that we got to come up with some guidelines. Anybody from up here?
you're familiar with some of your municipalities that do it?
Yeah, I would say like about 80% of our municipalities of the 33 that we serve have these. It's once every 3 years, or if they're using a purely third-party company like an Arrow out there, or an inspection company, they'll try and knock it out in 2 years, but I've never seen anybody attempt to do this in a year.
Okay, if we have any questions, if you're looking at a couple other ordinances, you can always call Paul. And to get some update, and we'll come up with something by next month. We'll give you a little lead time, so you know where we're coming from for the next meeting.
Gave me a whole month. Thank you.
Might only get 1 week. Okay.
I'll work with Alex. Maybe we'll draft something up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
From there, after rental inspections, okay. We're into the monthly reports, code enforcement reports. Paul?
Sure. The committee has my March 2024 report. As a comparison, I included my March 2023 report. I have nothing to add to either of those reports, but if you're happy to answer any questions the committee may have.
Any questions from the board?
No.
The only question I'll have is, since we were just on the subject of apartments, can you tell me, as for your code and stuff, I didn't see if it was it's not branched out. For apartments, how many do we get a year, just for our knowledge, of complaints that you have to intervene with?
Complaints from tenants or apartments?
Apartments.
I mean, it's been pretty good this year. We may have had one last year. We may have had, 5 to 10. And then usually, if we get a complaint, we do check. My staff is aware to do this, to ask the complaint and have they checked with the office. Because a few years ago, we were finding people were out there saying, just call code enforcement, they'll get it done quicker. So in all, respect to the property owners, we encourage the tenants to first, that's where they start first. And if the property owners are not responding, then they're free to call us. And what I usually do, if I get a complaint, we confirm it that there's no action. I'll pick up the phone and I'll call the apartment complex, the manager, find out what's going on. And a lot of times, it gets resolved before we even have to go out. So.
Okay. Because that's not broken out in the report since we're on the subject. Thank you.
I have a question. I've never looked at these reports as closely as I did recently. And I see, for instance, under the type of inspections, the total amount is in dollars is $6 million something $100. Where does that money go? Does that go into the general fund? Or?
What's that? Yeah, we didn't take in $6 million in permits last year. I wish we did. But estimated cost of construction.
I'm looking at the wrong column. Okay, well, it is $48,000.
Correct. And for 23, this month, we took in 56,000.
And that pretty much depends on the size of our big projects throughout the year.
It fluctuates.
Yeah. So,
Does that money go into the general fund, or where does it go?
No, I don't know if, does it go in the general fund?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions from the public on code enforcement reports? No, Public Works Department and recycling.
Thank you, Mr. Commissioner. You have my March report for Public Works and Sanitation Recycling. I have nothing further to add, but we'll gladly answer any questions.
Right, I don't have a question with it because we do such a good job anyway, but we were in discussion about trucks and unavailability of them and the cost of them for different brands. You are still looking into a series of how we can replace in a certain amount of time and all that.
Right, so trucks that we wanted,
We are talking trash trucks.
trash trucks, the automated trash trucks. The trucks that we wanted and we're 100% with our trash and recycling fleet now are Mack. And we wanted to stay on that route with a Mack for the automated. There's no guarantee when we can get a Mack, even if we order it today. We're not sure if it's 2025, 2026, 2027. So they just have no clue when we can get on a build list.
Okay.
We're not the only municipality. I see a lot of municipalities are going auto car Peterbilt right now, and they're considerably more money. So I'm waiting on a quote for an auto car cab over, which can hold a larger body, and which I feel we can do the entire trash process each day with just 2 trucks. And then once we replace truck going down the line, then we would get the 3rd automated because we would need a spare truck. Those trucks are available to be delivered in April of 2025, if ordered.
Yeah.
So they're available.
Okay.
We can get on the build list for them like beginning of January.
Okay, because I know there was a heavy discussion, and then all of a sudden we dropped it because the police station. and
Right.
Other funding, but I don't want to forget that and get to a date that, we have trucks not running and stuff, so, okay. Other than that, I have no problem with public. When do you start milling?
The contract should be sent out to I guess, I don't know what went on last week. I don't know if it went out, but notice of award should have gone out last week. Probably would go out this week. I'm not sure. Did you sign anything yet? I did not. No, so it probably didn't go out yet.
Okay,
So usually it's July.
okay, so we have time. Because do we have a paving time for?
Yeah, last year,
About Warminster, no, I'm just saying, for Warminster Road right now, did they say when their finish date? They milled it, not us.
right. No, I don't know what
You don't
the
know?
timeframe is,
Okay.
but they should be, if it's milled,
Yeah,
I think PennDOT is, has to be repaved within so many, 72 hours, 48 hours? PennDOT Road? Yeah, a PennDOT Road, like a state highway. Yeah. But last few years, we began paving it August 1st,
okay.
right around that first Monday in August. And then we're usually finished by the end of the month.
Any other questions from up here for Public Works? Anybody from the public? Okay, with that, we'll move to engineering report. Jim?
Thank you. Our engineers report and our landscape architecture report are in your packets. I don't have anything further to add, but would be more than happy to answer any questions.
Yours, I don't have any.
I'm good.
Okay.
I was just looking at the Maryland Road Bridge reconstruction, and somewhere I read that we had to replace it at the same dimensions that it is. There was a whole issue about whether we could make the opening bigger or smaller or whatever, and we were limited because it would cause less flow or something like that.
Yeah.
We had to get permission from the state or.
Yeah, that is being handled by Anton. Anton is not here tonight, but his report's in here. But we can go forward with him, ask him on that. And do we have we don't have an official announcement for any grants on that, do we? We do not. Okay. But that would come underneath the traffic. Anything else for engineer report, general public, anybody? Okay, next would be traffic. The traffic is in your packets, and wasn't anything earth-shattering new in there, which one of the reasons why Anton was not here tonight. Does anybody have to bring up anything about our traffic engineering? No? Okay, we will move on from traffic. Eastern Montgomery County Turnpike Interchange Group. I think that's just moving along. You're not up to speed?
I have no information on that to
Okay.
share tonight.
All right, and that's just something that comes up every month. It's just to keep an eye on it for us. Environmental Advisory Council. There we go.
I guess. Sean Hopkins here for Lynette.
Yep.
I'm sure you saw the report that Lynette submitted. We met this week and talked about the Leave the Leaves again for Mason's Mill Park. I'm not sure if there's any progress on that from Public Works or anyone to.
That would, technically, that'll go back to parks.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
Leave the Leaves, just like we did at the middle school. Just trying to promote people to, it's just an environmental thing that'll help with growth and.
So depending on the number of leaves, yes, we usually just go over them with mowers and mulch them back up, and they assist. But if we get inundated in our parking lots, many times we may remove some of the leaves at various parks.
And this is just where they fall.
Right.
It's not mulching, it's not mowing or anything. It's especially, in the canopies and all, leaving them as they are basically. And it's.
You don't want to be mulching them.
Anything,
Leave them.
anything on the school district, I don't think we have any control.
No, I'm saying that we did it there, they did it there,
Right.
our recommendation, and it seemed to go over fairly well. At the middle school, there was a stretch. They left them this past year, and we're hoping to keep that going. And again, it's just like the undergrowth that, the annual stuff that stays in there and is allowed to continue to grow.
And you have direct discussions with the school.
We did with that, yeah, but for
Okay.
this point here, we're just saying with Mason's Mill
Mason's
was
Mill.
the suggestion here.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that for reference.
I would say that is going to be something that you guys have to,
Yeah, in the wooded and forested area, we do. We don't remove any leaves, and so we leave them in place. Other areas, we may have to move them off the fields, or depending on.
Of course.
In Safety Town, we might have to move them out of Safety Town for the
Same.
kids.
The other one, the Outdoor Environment Educational Center for the library. They're moving along there, and they're hoping to move ahead with construction soon. But not sure if that has any tie-in. I know Lynette brought up last month the new police building, and just the concerns of our committee that it has some environmental factors built into it. Just-
We've been beating that one to death, believe me.
I heard that, some of the discussion last month.
and that stuff's not finalized yet, so.
Informational, just May 15th, our next Going Green Talk. It'll be about what is and isn't recyclable within accounting. Our committee-sponsored Earth Day Fair is Saturday, April 20th at Mason's Mill from 10 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. And I think that's it. Unless you wanted me to say more about the police. So I had a couple more notes about the police station on there too, the last statement.
Yeah, we're still in review of that. So we don't know yet. We're hoping in another 3-4 weeks or whatever, we're going to be finalizing inside a review. We're still waiting for consultants to get back to us for the,
And will that
for the police
information
station.
be public, or is there someone that Lynette's working with on that? I'm not sure if I need to.
We're not even sure yet. We're waiting to see what the reviews come back from. We hired a new consultant on it, and so we're waiting to hear what they feel. I know they did say there'd be an alternate, which was something different for solar panels and stuff on the roof for electricity part of it. I think the board decided we're going with gas heat for now, but there are other electrical components that can be used with the solar part of it on that. But other than that, the rest of it is, we're waiting for a real review to start to finalize stuff. Okay?
Yep.
Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Can I say something?
Sure.
I have, Lynette asked me to speak on this new police station issue. My name is Konstantin Wozni. I'm an affiliate member of the EAC, and I think Lynette chose me because she knows how much I enjoy public speaking. To be fair, a lot of what I'm going to say was created not by me, but Bill Saby, who I believe you had the pleasure of meeting. He is the sort of the lead on Ready for 100. I think he did a presentation to you guys, and also another affiliate member, Ed Macklin. And you mentioned gas heat. You know, gas heat is a fossil fuel. You know, now's the time you guys have a chance to, you know, do right by the environment, by the community, and, you know, take a leadership role. You know, we elected you basically to lead. I think very few of us think that climate change is a joke anymore. I know I have grandkids. I'd like them to be able to live a healthy life, you know, pollution-free. But anyway, these are just some of my thoughts. What I'd like to do is point out a couple things about our neighboring communities. There's 18 townships and municipalities in Montgomery County that have pledged this Ready for 100 type of commitment that they'll be ready and they'll be working towards that end to, you know, not pollute and, you know, reduce energy costs and reduce usage of fossil fuels. Nearby communities such as Ambler, communities that abut us, Hatboro, have gone this route. The time is ripe right now to be doing something like that between the Bipartisan Infrastructure Act and the Inflation Reduction Act. There's about 400 grant programs that are available to townships who go ahead and make an effort to reduce fossil fuel usage. You know, I was hoping that I would hear that you guys have decided to do, what's it called? I'm sorry, lost track here. The heat pump type of operation that would have saved you from using gas and so forth. But I'll just highlight some of the things that Bill Saby and Ed Macklin put together. Plymouth Township Municipality is nearing completion of rehabbing its municipal building. And, you know, so that's something to look forward with this building. Plymouth Township, I mentioned that. Bucks County recently filed a lawsuit against fossil fuel companies. Springfield Township is realizing significant costs as a result of performing energy audits on their township building and so forth and so on. I can make copies of this for you if you guys would like to take a closer look. But anyway, I guess the push here is for strong consideration for solar, heat pumps, things that will save the, you know, it might cost a little bit more up front, but in the long run will not pollute, not rely on fossil fuels, and save money in the long run. And I think if you guys did a survey, I think most people would agree that they would prefer that you kind of go in that direction and try to save the planet.
We are trying. We are trying. But, you know, it's a matter of dollars. We could go with heat pumps, it's all electric. And electricity is not, electricity is reliable, but the equipment isn't. In other words, so if we were talking about a 30-year period, you might have to replace the heat pumps 2 or 3 times. That's one issue. So gas is cheaper, and it lasts, the equipment lasts longer. However, they all use electricity. So I'm hoping that we'll get some full solar stuff going so that we can meet that cost. And that might have an effect on heat pumps. But right now, we're at the point where we have to decide what we're going to do and how much it's going to cost.
Well, I'm really glad to hear that you guys are seriously considering things like the, the solar panels, and I wish you the best of luck in coming to a decision that's going to be beneficial to the community.
If you have that report, if you would like it to be sent to all of us, you could just get a copy to Pat, and he'll distribute it to us.
Very good. Will do.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next we have Upper Moreland Historical Commission.
Good evening. Can you hear me, by the way, behind me? Yeah, it's a little hard to hear in this room sometimes, because you know how high up we go. I know we have to speak into this. So we did meet, we meet the beginning of the month, and then I quick have to turn around and do a report. So I used our minutes, which were amazingly done the next day, and I have given it all to you, through Vicki Sykes. So if you have any questions, I'd just like to highlight the fact that, yes, we have nearly our entire budget, so that we have the projects yet to be put into literal production, hence the budget being at its same level. And here we are in April. We have an upcoming event that's going to be May 18th at Tall Timbers. That is also known as Certificate Number 1 for all of us who've ever served on the Historical Commission on Pennypack Road. The invitations will be going out. They'll be going out to the inventory members. That's 42 people and or businesses and or owners. And additional people that we feel we would like to be able to invite because of the status of their houses, and they have yet to have responded to us in other ways. So we may have twice that amount at that event, which will be on the afternoon of May 18th. In the fall event, Mr. Stasio gave us a date so that we can have our pumpkins, our version of historical pumpkins on parade, because we never would step in front of the traditional kids event. But we have had family and parents come out and other people just interested in our paranormal group. But I think we have to look at this, Mr. Stasio. I think the dates were not clarified, and so we'll have to go back. And so our minutes are not correct our minutes are correct, but the date isn't correct.
Right, our Pumpkins on Parade event date was changed from where I thought it was originally going to be, so we'll have to settle on a date. We'll work together on that.
Okay, we'll work together on that. Great. Ferguson Track, we are working as quickly as we can with as many ideas as we have. Perhaps some of you have seen this along the way, and certainly Mr. Elsier needs to see this. These are the roads, the outside roads, Spencer, Russell, Gilpin, et cetera, So we would come down on the outside roads of, again, Easton Road and Fitzwatertown Road. So, Mr. Elsier. What we need to be able to do is put historical signs on top of what is already there, which would be the cross signs of Spencer, Fitzwatertown. They're all the same, they're all on the right, they all include the stop sign. So I don't know if I have to turn this way and ask either Paul or maybe our chief of police, are we allowed to do that when there is a traffic sign? I was going to say a traffic light. There isn't. There's one at Dallas, however. And what are the rules about that on a state road? How do we make this all come together?
issue if you put something else other than a stop sign on a stop sign?
Above,
The stop sign.
above.
Not sure about
Well, their stop sign is on the street sign. So you have the street sign with Spencer and Fitzwater Town. The stop sign is below it, and then this would be above it. I don't know what the rules are. There's rules for everything, so we still need to ask. And
I'll run it
make
by
sure
the
we get the
traffic.
right answer. Yeah, okay?
Because I have no idea on that one. You can check with,
Yeah, I'll check with Chief
Chief
Block or the traffic unit.
Okay, great. That would be helpful. We are using the willow tree. We're using it on our invitation. This is just a mock-up we ran through for the event on May 18th. We were hoping then, that's the reason we use that particular look there as well, because we'd like to be able to consider if we use these in other neighborhoods throughout the township, rather than original thoughts we brought before the board before about the railroad or, railroad tracks, that kind of icon for the township. Although somebody had suggested, and they're going to look into it, that we should have something like that with the tree in the background and an old-fashioned railroad car, typical engine from the late 1800s or early 1900s in front of it as kind of the beginning of noting ourselves as both a transportation hub and, of course, Willow Grove, the essential Willow Grove. So that is part of what we're also working on. And other than that, we are about to, I think, Mr. Alcier, finish the historical markers, putting them in at the church. The Willow's already in.
I have a question about the church.
Yes,
Who did you meet with at the Methodist?
the pastor.
And that's Calvary, correct? Calvary Church?
No, we're talking Willow Grove Methodist.
Okay, I went to the wrong church, my fault.
That's okay.
why
Okay.
you didn't have an answer.
Actually, their rectory is on the historical inventory, so they were fine with it, I'm sure, whatever. So I will get back and send that to you, my contact person, okay? Pastor. Hey, that works for me, that's fine. Then the Red Lion Inn, we still need to meet. Where did we leave that off? Meeting with Mr. Gelman. The memorandum of understanding is signed.
Well, I don't believe you need to be out there. You want it where that old tree was, correct?
That's where we thought it would be best.
Yeah, that's fine. I can meet with him.
Okay. Okay, that's fine.
Is he there during the day?
He said Wednesday or Thursdays were his best day?
Yeah, I'll stop by on Wednesday morning.
Okay, that's fine.
We'll get that.
That's fine. I think that will work in terms of ADA compliance more than being up in the boxed area underneath the Manhattan Bagel sign. I think that's too high to meet those requirements. In fact, I'm almost assured of it. So I didn't measure it, but I'm pretty sure. The other thing we talked about, and this was with manager and also director, many hats, Pat Stasio, about having some type of standard landscaping under each one of these signs so that they are both protected and pretty, and hey, we're purple, we're gold, we're blue, we're green, there's plenty of plants, et cetera, that would work with that. So there's not a lot of those signs that require it, but.
That would be something Parks and Rec
Yes.
would have to look at, because it's a maintenance thing.
It is. But we also talked with the EAC, and there are at least 2 or 3 people who'd be interested in garden club status, much like Hatboro has.
I would love that.
For Officer Allen's.
I have other places if we'd like to start one.
I'd be all for it. I would be happy to join that crowd as well. So we could do that if maintenance is absolutely important. We agree with that, 1,000%. Okay. So.
We're in the process of, I think Lynette just responded tonight with some dates and times, and maybe you did as well.
I did.
Kate and I will work on coming up with some times and getting where we're going to meet in the next, I think it's maybe next Monday even. And,
whatever.
We'll put together a little plan that we can present before the board.
Okay, great. So there's our projects. And there was also a recommendation, last thing, that we approach the station apartments to replace the Fountain House sign that is there with one of our new standard signs, because that sign is unreadable, basically. And it just sort of sticks out like a sore thumb sitting there. So we had agreed with the Historical Association that the out signs, the Mills, and the et cetera, John Lloyd House, would be all in the Historical Association signage of green, and the other internal ones would be matching so that you could do a walking tour in the township downtown. So that would take care of that issue. As long as we removed the one that is still in the box in front of the old bank. And the Dubray House would be, the Dubray House and the Red Lion Inn, which are on this property right out there, would both be removed. And only the Dubray House would remain, because that's where it was, if that's okay, and it doesn't interfere with any of our development for a while.
It probably won't for a while.
Okay, so, and then the Red Lion Inn would go across the street.
That's all in your budget anyway, correct?
Yes, all paid for.
Okay.
Okay, any questions?
I just, we were
Yes,
talking
sir.
about your signs in the Ferguson tract. That development, I think, was built like in 1916 or 1917. And Willow Grove at that point was all about trolleys, not about trains. And, you know, maybe the topper should have more of a reference to trolleys, and, you know, the railroad came through like.
Did the trolleys go up that far? I mean, the railroad was
Went
definitely
all the way to
here.
Hatboro.
Hmm?
Well, they went up York Road to Hatboro.
Yes, York Road out that way versus Easton, east to Moreland. That's, I guess,
I'm just thinking about the time period, that's all.
well, I guess if we did something like that, that's so evocative of the Willow Grove Park, you know, that's there in the TD Bank. That's one of their big murals inside the bank.
Right.
We could certainly look at that and,
Well, that's my thought about it.
The train.
okay.
Something for discussion.
Yes, sir, absolutely. Thank you for that, Commissioner. Appreciate that. Any questions?
Any other comments? No public, any commissioners? No?
Thank you.
Okay. Any other visitor comments? Any commissioner comments? Okay, we're adjourned.